Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. I have a question for you. What is your favorite holiday? I'm sure you're probably going to say Christmas. However, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. It sure is. I love feasting on turkey. And today I'm going to show you how to make the world's cutest luminary table tent, personalized with a name. Look at how stinking cute this turkey is that I created, and it stands on its own, and you can put a couple little tea light candles in there. Didn't this thing just turn out so cute? I'm going to show you how to make it. And it's because I absolutely love Thanksgiving. I am a foodie. I do have to tell you, I love cooking Thanksgiving. But the one thing I love the most about Thanksgiving is that there's no gifts involved. It is just bringing a bunch of friends and family together in one table, gathering for a meal, and just having a grand old time all day long, just celebrating being with each other. I am seriously getting the goosebumps talking about Thanksgiving. That is how much I love this holiday. So I'm so excited to share with you the SVG file that I created for this particular project. And it's just to celebrate my most favorite holiday. You're going to be able to find this SVG file in my cardstock warehouse. And also every single cardstock that you see here is also found in my cardstock warehouse. We used Merlot, Burgundy, Dark Orange, Goldenrod, Craft, White, and a little bit of black. Now the SVG file will look a little different on my cardstock warehouse, and that's because down here at the very front, it's going to say Happy Thanksgiving. However, I am going to show you how we customize all of our table tents for all the names that you're going to need to fill up your Thanksgiving feast table. Are you ready to learn how to make the world's cutest table tent for your Thanksgiving table? Let's go. The very first thing you want to do is head over to my cardstock warehouse and find the SVG file for this particular project. It is absolutely the cutest thing I think I've ever created. Once you're done purchasing it, you want to download the file, and then you want to head over into Cricut Design Space. Open up a brand new window in Cricut Design Space, press upload, and then upload image. Then you want to drag and drop the downloaded SVG file. Once you're done downloading that, then all you want to do is insert it into Cricut Design Space. Now, for whatever reason, Cricut Design Space resizes all of my SVG files. What you want to do is, after it's inserted into Cricut Design Space, making sure that this right here is locked, you want to change the height over to 11 inches. After you're done doing that, all you need to do is right-click and press Ungroup. Now, there's only minimal changes that you need to make within this project. The very first thing we want to do is scroll all the way down until you see these 3 lines that are right here. We want to select all 3 lines. So click on one, shift on the keyboard, and select the other 2 lines. We want to turn this from a cut over to a score line. So we're going to come up here into operation from basic cut to score. Then what we want to do is, pressing shift on the keyboard again, we want to select this right here, which is going to be the backer for our food tent. Now, when you have selected all 3 lines plus this red thing, what you want to do is press attach. Now, essentially what you just told the Cricut is, hey Cricut, not only do I want to cut out the red portion of this cutout, I also want to score all of these onto the red portion exactly where I have them on my cutout. Now, when you're done doing that, you can move this over to the right just so you can see the cute little turkey again, but you really didn't have to, because the next thing we need to do is work on this right here. So here's the deal. I left this Happy Thanksgiving here. You could do 1 or 2 things with this Happy Thanksgiving. Now, I don't suggest you cutting this out on cardstock, because holy cow, is this going to be really small to try and put on your little cutout. You could either cut this out on vinyl or HTV and put it on your piece of paper as if you were using a vinyl or HTV project, or what you could do is select both of these pieces and then just press flatten, and then this would create a print then cut project. However, if you wanted to stay away from a print then cut project, what I would do is I would Command Z, which is undo, and I would just delete these. That's exactly what I would do, is just delete them. Because what I want to do is make this a actual place card holder with someone's name on it. So what I'm going to do is press text, and I'm going to insert a name. I lack any type of originality, so I'm just going to use my name, and I'm going to put it down in here. Now, instead of using my printer for this project, what I'm going to do is utilize the pen feature for Cricut Design Space. So what I'm going to do is selecting this, I'm going to come up over here into font, and I am going to come over here to these two lines, and I'm going to select writing. That is going to change it all over into a single line font. So when we click on a font, you're going to see that it looks different and it looks really thin. That's exactly what we want, because I'm going to end up using the pens for this, and I do not want a bubble letter. Okay, so actually I just remembered I quit paying for Cricut Access. So what I need to do is come over here into these two lines, and I need to press free. So I'm going to have writing, and I'm also going to have free. That's just going to give me a whole bunch of free files or free fonts that I can use. Now what I need to do is find a font that works best for my project using the free fonts that Cricut provides. Actually, I think I'm going to be using Merlot for my project, so I'm just going to use Merlot as the lettering. So what I'm going to do is just make this a little bit bigger so it fits into my place card setting. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to make sure that this right here is nicely centered onto my placard, which it is now. Now what I'm going to do is select both of these pieces in the same concept that we did with our score lines. You need to do with the writing. So we're going to select both pieces, and we're going to come down here to attach. What you just told the Cricut is hey Cricut, not only do I want to cut out this piece out of cardstock, I also want to use my pen to write exactly where I have it placed on my piece of paper. Essentially now this is it. This is what our final project is going to look like. So you just want to press save. We want to save our work. Now if you're creating multiples of these, all you would need to do is just select everything, copy and paste, and then you want to change the name for every single one that you're using. Okay, when you're done creating as many multiples as you need, all you need to do is just press make. And now what we need to do is go and pick out all the cardstock that we need for this project. Okay, for every cardstock project, I always begin with a cardstock swatch book. And the reason for that is because I'm able to put in exactly what colors I think are going to work best. So while I build my files, I just reference back my cardstock swatch book. When I'm done and I'm ready to cut, then what I do is take my cardstock swatch book and I match it up to all of the colors that I offer in my cardstock warehouse. So for this project, I would suggest grabbing 2 mats. You'll understand why here in a second, but I always work with 2 Cricut mats. If you only have one, that's okay. It just slows down the process a little bit. You are going to need a little spatula and one of these scraping tools. You're going to need a scoring tool, the Cricut pen that comes with your Cricut. Depending on the size vellum that you have and how many you're creating, I am creating 3 of these luminaries, so I need 2 pieces of vellum, a little bit of white and black. The other reason why I like working with the cardstock swatches is because when I'm building my file and then I go to cut it, I am able to take and pull exactly what it is that I need. So for instance, on my computer, I really only need a small piece of white cardstock. So I went to my scrap pile and grabbed a piece of scrap white versus getting a whole brand new sheet. Because at the end of the day, we want to conserve our money as best as possible. Now that I have them all stacked in the order of which I need to cut them from my Cricut, I am going to pull my Cricut out and I am going to put these in the stack in the order of which I need to cut. I'm going to put it underneath my Cricut, just like this. Now what I'm going to do is the very first mat on my Cricut is going to be a piece of vellum. So I'm going to insert this onto my first Cricut mat. Let's insert this into our Cricut. Then what I'm going to do with my second Cricut mat is I'm going to grab my second mat. So for me, my second mat is going to be another piece of vellum. So I'm going to put in another piece of vellum on my Cricut mat. Then what I'm going to do is press continue on my computer. I'm going to let it all sync together. Now vellum is extremely thin, so you want to cut this out on a very light setting. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the fast cut mode and then press the blinking C button. Okay, anytime you're working with a new material, you always want to make sure that the Cricut cut perfectly, which mine did, cut this vellum perfectly. If your Cricut did not cut perfectly, what you want to do is instead of ejecting it, you want to press the C button. What the machine will do is suck the mat back in and redo the cut, making it a crispy cut. If you have a good cut like mine, you just want to eject and insert the next mat.
Using your spatula, we just want to take off the vellum nice and easy and then press the blinking C button. Now what you want to do is grab your next mat and put that on your new Cricut mat. Okay, we're going to adjust and insert this into the machine. Now, because we are switching materials, you want to make sure and switch the settings back onto your Cricut. Always want to make sure that you change your settings over. Okay, so when you get to the Merlot, what you need to do is make sure and have your scoring tool inserted into your Cricut. So what you want to do is come over here to your clamp A side and open that up. And then you just want to push your scoring tool in until you hear it click. When that's done, you want to make sure and close the clamp. And then you just want to press that blinking C button. Now, if you are using the Cricut pen tool and you get to the portion of where you need to switch out your things, all you need to do is take out your scoring stylus and insert the pen that you're going to be using until it clicks. Closing that and pressing the blinking C button. Okay, when we are done cutting out all your cardstock, you just want to press done on your computer and pack away your Cricut. Now this is definitely optional, but I love adding dimension to my cardstock. So what I'm going to do is use my little cardstock rolling mat and then also some of these fondant rolling tools. And I am just going to give my cardstock some dimension. So all I'm going to do is take one leaf, and I'm only going to do these to the leaves because the leaves, I think the leaves need some dimension. Then what I'm going to do is just take one of my rolling tools, doesn't matter which one you use, and then I am just going to add a little bit of dimension into my leaves. Now you can see that this leaf right here is no longer laying flat like the rest of them. That is just creating a little bit more movement into your leaves. I love making my cardstock projects look realistic, although it's obviously not, it's just cardstock. But I like making things look realistic. Okay, so when you have them rolled, you can just set that over to the side. Now the very first thing I want you to do is taking this piece and your piece of vellum. And what we need to do is this is going to be the front, okay? We need to put this vellum on the back. So what you need to do is take this. You want to make sure that like this tip is going over to the left. It's pointing to the left. You want to turn this over to where your tip is pointing to the right. That just makes sure that you know what direction needs to go. We are going to take some cardstock glue and we are going to put cardstock glue around the outside border. And then you want to go on the inside of your feathers. Now, if you're using the same cardstock glue as me, you don't need a whole lot of glue because this glue has a very strong bond. Okay, then what you want to do is put this onto your Merlot piece. Now you will notice that it is a little bit smaller than your Merlot piece. That's perfect. You just want to center it onto your backer and then pressing down onto your backer. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. This is okay. It's ugly. That's fine because when we turn this around, this right here is what you're going to see. Everything else that's on the inside, we're going to close it up and make that the luminary. So we're going to leave it like this. Now what you want to do is taking your feathers, you just want to put some glue down, and I'm going to start at the very bottom on both sides, so left and right. And your feathers should line up perfectly to the Merlot piece, which is great. I've created this project to where it's very easy to assemble, quick and simple. Now that you have all of your feathers, all you want to do is glue down your little turkey body, making sure that it covers all of things. Glue down the face. I love to create projects that are easy to assemble because, oof, the last thing you want to do is spend a million years trying to assemble your pieces. You know what I mean? Okay, and then for these small little eyes, I have this little like silicone picker upper tool. I love this because it really picks up all these little pieces without destroying my cardstock. So then all I do is like, I already know where the eyes are going to go. They're going to be like one right here and about one right here. Then what I do is take my little piece and I add the big one to the left and the little one. So when you have this like little picker upper tool, then what you can do is just turn this around. Use this to push it down. All right, now what you want to do is just let this dry. What we're really doing is making sure the luminary part or the vellum part dries all the way. So you want to just set this over to the side and let it dry. Now, if you're going to be creating multiples of these, you want to do the same exact steps as what I showed you. on the first one. Okay, now that you have them all glued, we're gonna start at the very first one that we glued, just so we give the opportunity for all of this to dry. What you want to do is now fold in your score marks that we have for our thing, which is 3. We have one right here, and then one that's right there. So we just want to fold that one in. Then what we're going to do is take this one and we're going to fold into the inside. Now, if you had a bone folder, you could bone folder these if you needed to. I don't think that it's really necessary, but just to make them crispier, you totally could. Now what you want to do is just taking this little flap that's right here that we folded over, we're going to just add some glue down there, and we're going to fold over our turkey and then kind of pinch the edges together. Okay, then I always like to stand it up, make sure that it's nice and straight and stand up. Now what you want to do is taking one of your little pieces, put my piece at the very back right here. I'm going to glue this to the very back on the center. Now you could, if you wanted to, just make it down here. That's definitely optional, but I think I'm going to do it like this. So just have a little bit of glue down on the base, and then I'm going to line this up and then stick my fingers in there and just push down on my cardstock just so everything is nice and glued on there. Look at how cute that is. Just stands up there. Okay, we're going to set this over to the side. You're going to do the same process with the same exact thing that you've done for the first one until you get them all glued down. Now for the finished product, didn't these just turn out absolutely adorable? They're so cute. So they light up. We have personalizations for the name. So if you have a large table with a lot of friends joining you, you have all the names written. And I love the way the vellum just softens the glow. So it doesn't look so bright, but then you can see like the lights flicker. This is so cute. Now, because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, this is not the only Thanksgiving craft that I'm up to. I'm actually going to create a really long table cover that is a coloring book. Have you seen those? They are all the rage over on Etsy right now. So I'm going to create one of those, and I also have these, and I'm also going to create one of those extra large hand-painted banners for Thanksgiving. I'm just so excited. I am not somebody that decorates for any holiday. Well, actually, I mean, I have to decorate for Christmas because I got kids, but like, if I could just decorate for one holiday, it would be Thanksgiving all the way. All right, y'all, I sure hope you loved making these cute little things with me today, and I'll see you on the next one.